that day. I honor his service. I regret he was injured.
Have you spoke to him since then?
I have not spoken to him
So
since
you
then.
obviously haven't honored him, nor has anyone else come to even question him about what took place, even after our committee a year ago.
I
So
believe
the bottom
that
line,
you are
sir, I'm
wrong.
still
I
talking.
believe he has
Sir,
been questioned.
General, the bottom line is that he deserved that respect like these Gold Star families deserve that respect. And to question his integrity, to question what took place on August 26th that he observed from his own eyes and sacrificed his limbs for, that you're unwilling to actually face him and actually tell him the same thing that you were willing to say to MSNBC and all the rest, which is that his recollection is incorrect and that there was no such thing, is shameful. With that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields. My understanding is the two generals have met with the families, that they are willing to meet with Sergeant Tyler Vargas Andrews. And you deserve that, sir.
Yes, you do.
With that, Chair recognizes Mr. Lawler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to follow up on my colleagues' questions here. General McKenzie, when did you retire?
1 April 2022.
Okay. And General Milley, when did you retire?
I came out of my duty position on the night of the 30th of September, and I officially retired 1 November.
Okay. And so at any point between the disastrous withdrawal in Afghanistan and to today, have either of you spoken with Sergeant Vargas Andrews?
I have not personally spoken to Vargas. I want to speak to him, but I have not. That's correct.
Okay. He testified before this committee a year ago. Are you both aware of that?
I am.
Did you watch his testimony?
I did.
I did not.
Did you get a report on his testimony?
Yes, I did.
And at no point did you feel the need to reach out to him or ask for a meeting based on his testimony?
For me personally, that would be inappropriate because while I was in uniform as chairman, there's an active investigation that was going on. Sergeant Vargas was part of that. And it'd be very inappropriate for me to meet with any of the potential witnesses during an active investigation.
And from your standpoint?
And the CENTCOM investigation has actually been reopened, so that's still an active investigation. So no, I would not have.
Okay, so based on an active investigation, how are you going to meet with him today if
We're
that's
not
the
on
standard?
active duty anymore. So
That CENTCOM investigation's been closed. It has not yet been briefed to the families, but that investigation is no longer active.
Okay,
Plus,
so as of today, you're both going to seek to meet with him?
yes, but also we're in different statuses now. So we're no longer on active duty. He was a commander, I was a chairman. And you don't want unlawful command influence on an active investigation. So that's while in uniform. Now we're not in uniform, and I want to meet with Sergeant Vargas.
Okay. With respect to the decision by President Biden to announce September 11th as the deadline for full U.S. military withdrawal, was there any tactical or military reason for that date?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So was it purely political and from the standpoint of a symbolic date from your understanding?
I'll be candid, I don't even know where or who made the decision of the 11 September thing. I frankly thought it was actually inappropriate at the moment in time, but it was very rapidly changed to the end of August.
And you were never involved in the decision to do that?
Not to pick the date, no.
Okay. General McKenzie, you stated in your opening statement that you and you alone are responsible for the military operations that occurred during the withdrawal. Again, I asked, did you set the date for the withdrawal?
No, I did not.
Did you make the decision to bring our troop level to 0?
I did not.
President Biden is the commander-in-chief. Did he make those decisions?
Yes, he did.
So is it your position that he bears no responsibility for the aftermath, that you are the only one that bears the responsibility for the military operations?
So I was responsible for military operations. The commander-in-chief is responsible for those and all the other operations, to include those of the Department of State, all the other appropriate cabinet agencies. But
you report to the commander-in-chief?
I do.
Okay, so at the end of the day, is he responsible for the decision to set the date and to set the troop level to 0?
Yes,
So he bears responsibility, not just you?
that's correct.
Okay. General Milley, you told the Senate and House Armed Services Committees in September of 2021 that one provision of the Doha Agreement the Taliban adhered to was the most important one, which was do not attack us or the coalition forces. You said that the Taliban did not attack U.S. and coalition forces. Didn't the Taliban carry out at least some attacks against U.S. and coalition bases in 2021, including indirect fire attacks?
There were, but the Taliban themselves, the senior leaders who were part of this negotiation, they would deny that. The Taliban's a very amorphous organization. You know, you never can be certain if they have total control over their individual units with indirect fire. There were some attacks. The issue was a lethal attack. Really, that's the fundamental piece. And there was also some specifics about no VBIDs in the cities.
So in other words, it depends on the definition of it? I mean, what do you mean?
Not at all. Not at all. So it says no attacks on, and I think Congressman Self has the agreement. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it says no attacks on U.S. or coalition forces. I can tell you in conversation with Zal Khalilzad, what they're talking about here is lethal attacks, really. But also, there's some specifics, I believe, and I'm doing it from memory without a document in front of me, about no VBIDs in the cities, no mass casualty attacks, those sorts of things. Now, the problem is they did adhere to most of that. There were some attacks. They weren't lethal. But they did pick up the pace on attacks on Afghan security forces. And that's really significant. By my memory, I think we're looking at somewhere between 30 and 40,000 attacks. It was like the peak of attacks on Afghan security forces occur in 20 and 21. It's a very significant amount of attacks on the Afghan security forces, leading obviously to the summer of 21. But the idea of not attacking coalition or U.S. forces, I would say largely that was adhered to by the Taliban.
Gentleman's time's expired. Chair recognizes Mr. Moran.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Both gentlemen, thank you so much. Both of you gentlemen have made statements calling for transparency and understanding regarding the withdrawal from Afghanistan, and I agree with those statements.